Good afternoon and welcome back to George Square here in Glasgow for more live coverage of the Homeless World Cup 2016. Here we are in the Men's Bowl semi-final, India versus England. Now, England got quite a strong side, got a lot of skill and power about them. India a little bit smaller, quite neat feet, and they're a one to watch. So this should be a great even matchup. I'm your commentator Tom Crosby, but I'm joined in the booth by Rory Hamilton.
Yeah, looking forward to this one. England, of course, they managed to sneak into that top section of the draw, but then a tough time in phase 2 of the tournament, and they failed to get a victory, lost all their games in Group D against Mexico, Brazil, South Africa, Egypt, Bulgaria, but that is not saying anything really about the English team because those 5 are such strong opposition.
We always talk in tournaments about groups of death, and that probably was the group of death for England there. But we are back here on pitch 1 for England versus India in the Men's Bowl semi-final. We've got John Fairbrother in goal for England. Dean Branwood, previous goalkeeper for the English side, they've swapped. Also number 20, Jellicoe Kamba, just wrestling with the 7, Shivam, on the boards. Danny Morhan, the number 2, outside as well. Another tough tackle by Kakamba. Not got the weight, but he has got the range and the skill. Great set of feet on the number 20 from Islington. There's Shivam, the captain. So got Sai, the number 11, on the field. Shivam just holding that up. This is going to be a great matchup, Rory. 2 teams that really are very competitive and very much at the same level.
They are indeed, and Mohan, you could see there, he was desperate to close down, but then he also had the discipline to then hold off because he knew that his man was outside him. It was well worked by the England number 2, who almost opens the scoring.
And Brandwood as well, the number 8, managed to strike that one back inside. But there's Kakamba. How many ricochets for England? 5, 6, 7, 8. Jellicoe Kamba gets back though and hits another of the number 7s. 2 number 7s on the field for India. Kakamba gets back and hits Mikhail with all the weight he doesn't have.
Always makes our job a little harder, but thankfully the Indians have put their names on the backs of their shirts.
The ball free, Danny Morhan. That wasn't a ricochet. Looked one way, went the other. Fantastic effort by the young Englishman, and that's 1 to England. They could reach the final of this bowl, and don't forget who is in that other half of the draw for the bowl.
It is, of course, Scotland and Italy.
So should England win here, another tough challenge. Absolutely felled Morhan in the corner. So should England win and should Scotland win against Italy next, we should have, this might be in the Shield. So we'll take a quick look. These are the semi-finals B. So both these teams have in fact lost their first opening games, but that means that they will play each other in a run-off for sort of rankings if they both win. So there might be a home nations final of sorts should England and Scotland win their games here.
Yeah, that's right, Tom. Scotland and England both lost their quarterfinals. Scotland beaten by Bulgaria, England by Romania. So this is, in fact, a Shield semi-final. So the 4th tier competition.
Good strike by Jellicoe Kamba, and you see the frustration from the Indian number 1, Akanksha Shale. So England doing fantastically well here to set that. Oh, what a strike from absolutely nowhere. Danny Morhan with the opportunity for his 2nd. But yeah, this will set up a tasty encounter between England and Scotland should Scotland beat Italy up next, and we'll bring you that game as well with dual commentary here on Pitch 1, so do stick around on this stream, don't go anywhere.
Well, it's where they're all jostling for these positions between 17th and 24th, everyone determined to finish as high as they possibly can.
Kamba, got Morhan inside. Ezra Gordon now on the pitch, substituted for Dean Branwood. There's Gordon, Morhan. Kakamba, neat feet by Jelly Kakamba, fantastic work. Ezra Gordon, no slouch in front of goal as well. Danny Morhan tried to get through there. But I think what we saw a tough challenge between the two of them. But if you look at number 7, should be Shivam. Both his shoelaces are entirely undone, and that's what brought those players down, in my opinion, there.
It was really unfortunate just how they actually landed on one another, and that hurt Danny Morhan.
Kakamba just checking on Shivam, Indian captain. Mikhail across. Left Fairbrother for dead, but he didn't have to cover. As Kakamba. Ezra Gordon behind, but another tough challenge by the Indians. Like we say, two very evenly matched sides, but it's the English finishing that set them apart. Referee just pulls that one back again. That's on the hand of Ezra Gordon, but I don't see what he was supposed to do about that. Only just into the challenge. Accidental, but the free kick has been given to the Indians, and they take it quickly. Mikhail in space. Shivam with the strike. Morhan across. And what have we brought that back for?
Well, I think he was just a little late in the challenge there on Danny Morhan, and the referee just quite keen to stamp out in case there's any ill feeling between the sides.
There's some space for Ezra Gordon, unable to capitalise. The ball back in from Prahar. Tough challenge by Ezra Gordon as well. Ball across the face of goal for Fairbrother.
Well, it's interesting, England have mixed up their goalkeeper in this tournament quite a bit.
Yeah, of course, they started with Dean Brandwood, who you will see as number 8 when he comes back onto the field. But that has happened at certain tournaments. England women last year at Amsterdam, with Hannah Voice in goal, did play her as an outfield player for the remaining 3 or 4 games. Bit of space for Kakamba, but space that he's definitely earned against those boards. Shivam and Prahar. Tough with the big man from North London. Bit of space for Morhan. From Newcastle, I believe, Danny Morhan. That's the ball back inside. Ezra Gordon, thumbs up from the referee. That's confirmed. 3-0 to England. 7 minutes gone in this first half.
He held his nerve brilliantly there, Ezra Gordon, just to take the ball under control and tap the ball home, and that has given England a really good cushion right on half-time.
So while we've got a little bit of time at the break, can we preface this Italy-Scotland game coming up next as well? Of course, if England do win this, and if Scotland win that, it will set up a tasty home nations tie, of course, the oldest fixture in international football as well.
It is indeed, and that's what everyone will want to see at this Homeless World Cup. It would be a Scotland against England, and England playing so well here.
That was a great goal by Ezra Gordon. Opportunistic, but he's in the right place. Danny Morhan made that space, had that strike, and then that was a great finish by Gordon. Schiller just resetting. It's either Tata Trust, Tata Steel, of course, in the news recently, very famous company in India, and they work with the Slum Soccer India program. That's Schiller, all the way out to Prahar, but he's closed down by Kakamba. That should be Plummer on the field as well, the number 19. Tough tackler Plummer, made all the difference in the last couple of games for England when he came on the field. So I expect to see some sort of change in style, maybe something towards a bit tougher, further range shots for the English now that Plummer is available to them. Tug on the share of Kakamba. Shivam all over him. Could have ridden the kid piggyback there. It's Plummer out to Gordon. Gordon back into Plummer. Plummer tried to ride that challenge but unable to. The rain has abated thankfully here in George Square. Pitch is still quite wet though. It's a ball across the centre from Plummer. Another one across the side. Ezra Gordon. England now in complete possessional control. Neat ball back to Gordon, just not collected with enough pace for England to do anything. Good ball across by Plummer though. You see the difference Plummer's made?
Absolutely. It's interesting though, as England press for this fourth goal, that Yalahau over on the far side looks stripped but not ready to play. He's one that's had an influence on England in this tournament. Do you think that's an injury?
Yeah, it probably would be, because Yalahau, you would have seen him at some point in this game already. He's a very similar player to Jelly Kakamba, the number 20. Both tall, both slim, both with fantastic feet. So it's very much similar styles though, so maybe England might be stronger with Gordon, Plummer and Kakamba on the field at the moment. And there's Kakamba again. Making the opportunity, slowing the game down, just teasing. Good ball across, Gordon. It's fantastic by Kakamba to make that space and time when there wasn't any.
Well, England will really want this pressure to tell into a fourth goal.
Kakamba again. Takes the ball out, Plummer. Plummer across through the legs of Schiller. That's the fourth for England. Expect to see them facing off against either Italy or Scotland unless we have a massive reverse of fortunes in the last 4.5 minutes. Plummer again, though. A great stop. That's a great shot again by Plummer. A tough challenge by the side for Gordon. Johnny on the field. Kakamba just teasing, giving the overlap.
Well, lovely feet, and England beginning to enjoy themselves out here on pitch one.
I felt like if Plummer had run onto that one directly, that could have been a great layoff. That's the sort of play that we'd see from Brazil or Mexico. But speaking of Brazil, speaking of Mexico, just while this game winds down a little bit with the 5-0 scoreline to England, over on pitch 2, we have had some absolute classics. Brazil losing 5-4 to Portugal. Goal on the final whistle to bring that into penalties. And then Brazil winning the penalty shootout. Number 8 for Portugal, Rodriguez, in tears after his first miss. Fantastic game. Watch that again, youtube.com/Homeless World Cup. You can replay any of the matches, of course, on our catch-up service there. And then after that, we saw Mexico. Good effort by the Indians, though, to get one back in. We saw Mexico beat Indonesia 6-2. The challenges from the Indonesians, oh, they were the toughest I have seen all tournament. Massive size difference. Mexico, strong favourites for the competition, but Indonesia ran them close.
Well, and do not forget about the semi-finals that were over here on pitch 1. They too sensational and so closely matched. Chile just getting through against Bosnia and Herzegovina, and a yellow card was the big story in that one that just cost Bosnia as they tried to get back into it at the end. Russia beating Hungary just by the single goal as well, as India beginning to trouble the English goalkeeper now.
Yeah, that is India's second. So England need to take a bit more control. They've got Dean Branwood on the pitch replacing 20 Jelly Kakamba. The ball out to Branwood. Nice to see the young fans in the crowd. We've already had a Poznan. Brilliant to see, just in front of that Danish flag.
Various Mexican waves throughout the week as well.
Even the occasional Viking clap, I think, by the French.
Incidentally, the Mexicans were wondering why we called it a Mexican wave. They were completely unaware.
That's fantastic, but there we go. Speaking of bizarre events, we've got the ball away and Ezra Gordon's managed to curl that round the number 1, but then what a response by India.
Well, Ezra Gordon has been the key man for England in this game. What a game he's having.
I do believe the Mexican wave, of course, started at the Mexican World Cup. That might have been 1970, if my memory is correct.
Yeah, were you there?
Unfortunately not. I was minus 18 years old at the time. But there's a nice finish again by India. They have got themselves back into this. Number 5 for the Indian team. Absolutely from nowhere, Suraj Anil Kakre. Not seen much of Kakre in this game.
Well, England must have thought that this game was done. But what spirit from the Indian side.
Well, Mohan now on for Brandwood. Maybe a little bit of worry creeping into the England camp. Just a minute left, and that it's unlikely, but there is time for the Indians to win this.
Absolutely, and England have had so much dominance of the ball. They have owned it, but India hitting them on the break recently, that could be a danger.
Ball across the face. So that's well held though by Plummer. One more to finish it, and one more that does. England 7, India 4. Jake Plummer, fabulous effort, curling shot, round the keeper. England will face either Italy or Scotland, and we will know which one that is coming up next. So don't go anywhere. This game, 10 seconds remaining, will bring you through a little bit of a post-match chat, but we'll be back with you in a couple of minutes for that next game, Italy-Scotland. We could have a home nations matchup.
Well, the influential moment coming from Jake Plummer, using his strength and power to win the ball back, and then the precision finish.
So that is full time here on pitch 1. England 7, India 4. Heartbreak for the Indians, but England march on into the playoff system where they will face either Italy or Scotland next. Hopefully we'll get a quick replay of some of those great moments from that game in just a second. But while we do, don't forget you can donate at any time to this tournament. And to donate, all you have to do is text GOAL to 70660. That's text GOAL to 70660. We'll also bring you a little bit of information of how you can get in touch on social media. But don't forget, don't go anywhere. The next game up is a complete cracker as well. If you do want to get in touch on social media, it's nice and easy to join the conversation. Hashtag HWC2016, Facebook.com/Homeless World Cup, Twitter @Homeless World Cup with the O missing, and also on YouTube /Homeless World Cup as well. Join me in the commentary booth up next for Italy versus Scotland.